Hey guys, buenos dias. It is morning, but it's super freaking early today. It is 12:32 a.m. on Friday, March 1st, and I am coming to you from Lima, Peru. I haven't really done any kind of long form content creation at this point in my traveling. I've only been, doing the short form thing on Instagram and just doing highlights because I've realized that it's really the best way for me to be present while also balancing, trying to get the shot and everything and whatnot, because it can be kind of hard to juggle both, and because it's a different experience. That aside, the last week or so has been kind of slow. I haven't really been up to much. I've just been relaxing, recharging, kind of hanging out. I haven't been doing a whole lot. I got to Lima last night, and today I was trying to do some work when I was partially successful, but I still kind of hung out a little bit, and I was doing a bit of reflecting this morning. I was gratitude journaling a bit too, and I wanted to share with you guys what my biggest revelations were from my trip. So, as I said, I'm in Lima, Peru, but I've been traveling Peru for almost exactly a month. It'll be a month on Monday, which means I gotta go because I don't have a visa. But anyway, so I just wanted to share with you guys some of my biggest takeaways as authentically as I can, and put this out at some point because I'm at the time of recording, I'm pretty behind on content. So to kick things off, traveling is not a sustainable lifestyle. I'm already feeling it that I don't have the energy to keep going for super long without having a home base, and so it's not sustainable, and there has to be a way for me to change that in a way that's authentic to myself. Traveling isn't sustainable. You can't be doing this forever. This is the longest I've ever been on a trip ever in my life. And it's not a bad thing, because while from an exhaustion standpoint, I could probably go home, but I don't feel 100% ready to go home, if that makes sense. When I was in Mexico City in April or May of last year, I definitely hit a point where I was ready to go home. I was kind of questioning my purpose for being there. It kind of felt like I was wasting my money. That being said, I did have good experiences. I met cool people and stuff, and that was awesome, but I just felt like I was, my time would be better served elsewhere. On this trip, I didn't feel like that. When I was in Thailand back in January, I hit a point where I was definitely ready to go home, no regrets, whatever. Now I just don't feel the same, and I don't know if it's because it's a different location, because I'm in Peru, I'm in Latin America, and I love the culture, but it's just not sustainable. And in order to have this kind of lifestyle, I'm definitely gonna have to find a way to make this sustainable, both financially, but also from an energy standpoint, because there's all these experiences in life that I want to have, but you can't do them all at once. Even now, I got back from Cusco. That's where the last leg of my trip was, and there's still some stuff that I wanted to get to do while there. So that's just something that I was thinking about on my way here to Lima. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that people are still people. No matter where you go, they're all gonna be doing kind of the same AFK kind of things. I had a moment today where I was just walking through. So I'm staying in Miraflores in Lima, and I was walking back to my hostel from the beach I just went to randomly explore earlier. I'll throw you guys some pictures right here. But I was just walking through the neighborhood, and going through a park on my route back, and there were people walking by. There were a couple couples just being affectionate to each other. There were people walking their dogs, people watching their kids play in the playground, and just living their lives. And it's crazy to think I'm from the US, so I have the US perspective of the US is the best country in the world and we're so much better than everyone else, blah 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 blah. But if you go to New York City, if you go to Salt Lake City, Utah, if you go to San Francisco, California, sure, the cities may have a bit of a different culture to them and a different energy, but people are still people. And like from that perspective, from that point of view, while it's great to experience different cultures and stuff, like it's really just a different side of the same coin. People are always going to be people. Like the news often tries to like pit people against each other. I know not to get overly political, but at least in the US, they're politicizing the border crisis on the Mexican-US border right now, and blah, 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 blah. But like people are still people, and people are living their lives the exact same way. Well, that's a lie. Not the exact same way, but they're just living just like they would anywhere else. And it's just the way that they live that might be a little bit different. I also had a moment this morning, changing to my next point, where I mentioned earlier that I was gratitude journaling, and I was just kind of going through it, not like, in a feelsy kind of, well, I guess kind of in a feelsy kind of way, but I was just gratitude journaling, and I'm really grateful that I was able to have this experience for myself. I kind of manifested this, and I don't mean to sound super like woohoo, but in February of last year, like the 12th or the 14th, I think was the exact date, I wrote that in my journaling that I'd be in a position to quit my job and travel the world, not really knowing what that would look like. And that was just the intention I put out there. And lo and behold, I may not have quit my job, but I was laid off a week or two after I got back from my last trip, which was in Thailand. So my 2 trips for 2024 were originally going to be Thailand, starting off the new year. And then 2-3 weeks later, I was going to the Amazon in north of Iquitos, Peru. And then that was going to be it for the year. And then it was, back to work, back to grind, whatever. Unbeknownst to me, I ended up getting laid off when I got back from Thailand, and I didn't see it coming at all. I was shocked, but at the end of the day, I almost feel like it was meant to happen in like a good way, because I felt like the last couple years of my life I've been like overly consuming like self-improvement content on like YouTube and social media, and it really helped me to embrace this change. My Amazon trip was supposed to end with a few days in Cusco, and that was it. But I ended up extending my stay for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I was able to see Machu Picchu. I was able to do the Lars trek through the Lars Valley, which doesn't end with Machu Picchu, but we did the trek, and then from there we took the bus or whatever to Machu Picchu. But anyway, I was able to do so much, and now here I am in Lima. Like actually, instead of just flying through it, I'm actually like getting a chance to soak up some of the culture here, which is mostly just really good food. There's only one excursion that I'm going to do to the desert this weekend, but regardless. And then on top of that, I'm going to get to go to Colombia for an undefined amount of time next month, this month, now that we're in March. Holy shit. It's crazy. And I really just kind of set myself up for this, because on top of manifesting it, I was living in an apartment, and I didn't like sell all of my belongings, but I moved back into my folks' house, and I put all my crap in their basement because they have this space, and I have a good relationship with them, so I'm grateful for that. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I have a chance to build up some momentum to working towards what I really want in life. Although granted, I do envision myself getting another engineering job and ending my travels at some point, like soon-ish, because I kind of do need the money. I only have so much savings, but yeah, I'm grateful for everything, and I'm really happy that I was able to just embrace this, what could have been a really detrimental thing to my mental health and my finances. Like I just kind of took it with open arms. Okay, but enough about that. So the next actualization that I made from traveling here in Peru is that maybe I am ready for a serious relationship, and not to get like super personal and stuff, but like dating for me has been, well, I will say that dating here has been literally like the best I've ever had in my life, or at least for a very long time. And it's crazy because like I know what I'm into. I realized that like, I'm more into Latinas than other breeds of girls. Not to sound weird, but here, I don't know, it's just Peru specifically has gifted me some of the best dating experiences I've ever had, and I can only hope the same for Colombia. But even though I don't really speak any Spanish right now, but that's besides the point. And I refuse to believe that it's strictly because I'm a US born guy, because all I did is I took some tool bag picture that I took in Thailand, and I threw that on my Tinder, and that's how I got here. I'm definitely ready for a serious relationship, and somebody asked me recently, like, if you had to give up like sleep, sex, or food, or like which would you prefer in which order? And to be honest with you, I put sex in tier 3. Like, and I think I put food, sleep, sex, because like sex feels good, but like if it's not with someone you're like super like bonded to, it's just like, I don't know, for me it's just not, it's just better if you're like in love with the person. And it's been such a long time since I've been like in love with someone and like almost spiritually aligned. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not the kind of guy to really like whore myself out too much, so I feel like I'm ready for a serious relationship. And I'm grateful that dating here has taught me that. And the last actualization that I've had while traveling here in Peru is that time really is your most valuable asset. And I know a lot of like business social media personalities preach that, and that's like, once you realize how valuable your time actually is when you're trying to like start a business or something, and it's really like making that shift into valuing time more than money. And that's such a big and a hard mindset shift to make, especially when you're so used to valuing your money over time. Like you're like, trying to sell all your clothes for like $5 a shirt or something, but it takes you like an entire day to go and catalog everything, where what you could do instead is just donate all your clothes and find something more sustainable to make money. Time is the most valuable asset you have, and this past week was like the pinnacle of that, because so like last week I did a G Adventures trip, and I just feel like I lived so much in such a short window of time. I did the Lars Trek. I saw a little bit of Ollantaytambo, I believe, and like just seeing Machu Picchu, the Rainbow Mountain, Palcoyos, like that was all within one fucking week. And then it was over, and now like 3 or 4 days have gone by of me just relaxing. I saw Moray and the Saltares, like the salt mines outside of Cusco yesterday, but that was already a blur. And it's crazy. There's like, time is your most valuable asset, and it really is what you make it. And it's crazy to think like I could have just been working right now. Literally, it's a Friday. I could have been like, going into work in 8 hours from now if I wasn't laid off or something, it's wild. So time really is what you make it. All right. So I'm sure that's not exactly what you were expecting when you clicked on this video of, like my biggest travel takeaways from Peru. I wanted to make this as authentic as possible. A lot has happened this month. Like, it's crazy. February of 2024 is definitely one for the fucking books for me. And if you want to follow more closely with my travels, I'm just going to plug my Instagram right here, because that's really where I'm more intimate with it. Like I said, I do value being able to take in my experiences more than documenting it. So it's easier for me to find that balance between short form content and then actually living the experience. If you want to follow along with where I end up from here, be sure to follow my Instagram, and I will catch you guys on the next one.